Mohamud Ali, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Next will be a tabling of documents.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management responses and accompanying annexures for the report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on audited financial statements for the County Executive of Marsabit for the financial year 2023-2024, and management responses and annexures for the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue for the County Executive of Marsabit for the financial year 2023-2024.
Okay, Auditor General, could you confirm that what has been brought before us was circulated to you?
Thank you, Chair. I hereby confirm that we received management responses on 30th of May. We've taken time to verify all the issues, and we are ready to proceed from our end. Thank you.
Okay, Clerk of the Senate.
Yes, Chair, I do confirm that we also received them on the 30th of June within the timelines.
Okay, so that means there's nothing that should stop us from proceeding.
We can proceed.
Fine, so we will then go straight to the report of the Auditor General, starting with the report on the executive, and then we'll come to the receiver of revenue. But prior to this meeting, we have had a brief with the various institutions that support us. And I think there's a matter that we must deal with and put on record before we go to the substantive issues. Sometime in 2024, Governor, you appeared before this committee. And it is a meeting that did not end very well because we didn't have supporting documentation for expenditure. A week later, we saw, because you are not visitors in Jerusalem, we saw you were raided. Your residence was raided by officers purporting to be from the EACC, and several other people were also raided. And part of the explanation that was given was that you are unable to account for public resources when you appeared before the Senate. I would like to know, to date, have you been acquitted? Have you been discharged from those allegations?
Mr. Chairman, you've asked a very weighty matter, which it was touching on my person, and rightly so, it was arising from the discussion that we had here. One of the one of the media station carried that we could not account for 9 billion for that financial year, and that is the whole amount. Then a week later, as you rightly said, the officers invaded me with the accusation that 1.3 billion could not be accounted for. Since then, we've recorded the statements. My officers have been recording. I think even 3 weeks or so, some officers came looking for documents we've been giving. We've been complying everything. So we left it to them. And so that process is on.
So beyond statements and collection of evidence, there's been no judicial proceedings? Have you been charged?
No, it has not reached that stage, Mr. Chairman. The officers are still doing their investigations.
So you are walking around with accusations of stealing 8 billion, but without any justice, any action?
Actually, it is the other way around, because it is a misplaced allegation, because 9 billion is money for the whole financial year, Mr. Chairman. And it's foolhardy to expect that it means we were not even paying salaries, Mr. Chairman. That was the ground on which many people were thinking we should be behind bars. But we gave our part of the story. Of course, our reputation has been injured, wrongly so from our perspective, but we'll wait to see the conclusion of the investigation.
Honorable members, I think there's a reason why we agreed to start with this particular matter. And issues of investigations, issues touching on personal conduct are sensitive, so we need to be very careful also how we proceed. But we are concerned that the fight against corruption is becoming weaponized. It is becoming a tool for settling scores. Because if that was in April 2024, the question is, today in June 2025, why haven't charges been preferred against those who may have been found to have committed the illegalities that are cited? And the public starts looking at the Senate as a toothless dog, that we just bark, we don't bite. In the case of Marsabit, it was one rare case where the EACC took up a matter that had come from the Senate. But we need to know whether it is proceeding or it has died or it is being kept somewhere. So I think EACC is present. EACC, could you tell us what's happening in Marsabit? Because if you are going to make further directions today, and yet previous directions have not been dealt with, then we might as well adjourn.
Yes, Chair. The search was conducted on the 4th of April 2024, and subsequently investigations commenced. They were broken down to different matters pursuant to the documents that were retrieved, and investigations are ongoing. Statements were recorded as early as last week. I believe even the current governor was invited last week to come to EACC to record statements. So it's an active investigation, Chair. It is not yet concluded, but it is at an advanced stage.
Honorable members, does that sound familiar?
Chair, my question to Patricia, who represents the EACC, would be, as the chair said, and the governor himself has said, it touches on the person and character of an individual. It can be very injurious to characters. So what happens? Do you come and arrest me because somebody has said I've stolen, then you go and investigate? Or do you investigate and then come and arrest me? How should it work?
It's investigation first and then subsequent arrests. So there have been no arrests. It is just investigation processes.
In the eyes of an ordinary Kenyan like me, the governor was arrested. In the eyes of an ordinary Kenyan, a raid is an arrest. That's what it is.
Chair, what time was the visit? If you don't call it arrest, what time was the visit?
As early as a few minutes to 6 in the morning.
In your private residence?
In my private residence.
But Chair, is that a visit or it was a raid?
It was a raid.
It's not a visit.
It was a raid.
Yeah.
It was invaded.
Yeah, you know, even from a layman, we expect, you know, EACC chair is a replica of what the police does. You know, you cannot just go and arrest somebody when you have no evidence. You do your thorough evidence, maybe for a certain time of time. You gather all the evidence you want, then you go and arrest somebody. You cannot just raid somebody's residence, you arrest them, then tomorrow you start saying, then we are recording statement from so and so, we are investigating 1 year down the line. I think that this is drama. This is not something we can call investigations.
Chair, can I say something?
Yeah, please go on record, Senator Chute.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Mohammed Said Chute, Senator Marsabit, friend of this committee. Chair, you have the powers to ask the EACC to come before this committee.
Senator Chute, perhaps you should have allowed the members to finish because EACC is on this committee. Yes. We sit with an officer from the EACC.
The lady called Patricia.
The lady called Patricia is from the EACC.
They mean the CEO.
Now, we have had occasion to talk to the CEO, Senator. What we we are saying here, you know, it's almost as if we are going to have to render an apology to this governor. Because the reason he was raided is because they had something that was said in this committee. Yes. You know? Now, Chair, we should not behave like we don't know what's going on in this country. When the current administration was campaigning, they told us they would put an end to weaponization of criminal justice system to go after people. But clearly it is still ongoing. Chair, you are aware that just a few months ago, there was another high-profile raid on the governor for Kiambu. And when we tried to find out what was going on, the information that I was given was that he refused to attend a political meeting in his county. And one of those leaders there who thinks they are very powerful decided to, quote-unquote, teach him a lesson. And if you ask EACC what has happened between the time Governor Wamatangi was arrested and now, the answer Patricia will give you is the same one that we are being given from Marsabit. There was another one. Just recently, Governor Tembea, they went to his house, there were all sorts of drama, unnecessary drama. And if you ask EACC what has happened subsequent to that, the same answer will come as the answer from Marsabit. What we are saying, Patricia, is as a committee, we are not very happy, Chair, because we want to distinguish between, we have made recommendations. We have made recommendations as a committee for EACC to investigate, but they never follow those recommendations. They want to go suimotu after people that they perceive, you know, to be having problems with whoever. We made recommendations in Turkana after we went to the ground ourselves. And this is something we can repeat even now. Turkana is a crime scene. The governor who was there is supposed to be in jail, but he's in State House. So, I mean, what explanation would EACC have for not following the recommendations we've made, but they go and do other things on the side here, just to harass people? So, Chair, my recommendation would be, I think we need to put timelines. From the day you arrest someone to the day that you arraign them in court for a charge, not to ask for 60 days to investigate, so that you prevent this abuse of the arrest process. They are out to humiliate people. So that if you know you are not ready to prosecute, don't come to my house. Don't come to my house. If you have evidence, you wait until you have everything. When you arrest me, don't go to court to ask for 60 days. Go and charge me and say this is the evidence that we have obtained over a period of a year. Because it is not fair. Like 1 year down the line, how can you still be talking about investigations? And we have seen, Chair, in previous matters, where investigations take longer than the time it takes to acquit someone. It doesn't make any sense, Patricia. We know that you are just a liaison officer. But you are going to bear the brunt of our frustration because you are the face of the EACC on this committee. It is not fair. It is not fair at all. It is open abuse of power to arrest people. And I'm saying this knowing they will come to my house next. They are welcome.
and Chair, I think we need to conduct also our oversight work, because when we do recommendations to DCI and EACC as a Senate committee, our people are asking us at home, so what? You've grilled the governor, you've written recommendations at EACC and DCI to do investigations, so what? 5 years, 10 years down the line, there is nothing happening. And as Senate, we are seen as toothless bulldogs. I think EACC has refused to work, and what they are doing now is they have resorted to PR exercises to be seen to be working. It's very unfair.
Chair, something small. Patricia, again, we apologize to you. You have to just deal with this because you are the one who is
maybe for as guidance, since she's representing the institution, yes, let's just refer to as EACC.
Okay, yes.
So that it's not her personal conduct that is under scrutiny.
That's okay. Well guided, Chair. You know, the question that comes to mind is, you know, the E in EACC stands for ethics, right? So it becomes a very difficult thing when the institution that is supposed to even ensure ethical standards, it behaves in manners that are not really ethical. I say that because before you raid me, and you're raiding Sifuna next, I don't know for what, but before you raid him, would it be fairer to first ask him to submit the documents that you want to carry out whatever investigation you want to carry out? Then if the documents then are not provided, then you can raid. Why is raiding so important to the EACC at the onset of every investigation? Why should, and it seems like it's a standard, you know, we have heard of Kiambu, we have heard of Transoia, and a lot more other places previously. Why is raiding people's residences so important for EACC investigations, even before they have asked for the document that they want, and the person that they want to investigate has refused to give the documents? Why is raiding so important?
There was a point by Senator Chute which I think will be perhaps a logical conclusion, because we must put those questions to EACC. But Senator Sifuna, I don't think you are at the point of apologizing to the governor, because it is for EACC to tell us what action has been taken. And if the governor is acquitted, if the governor is let off the charges, then we could address that. But it's not yet time for that. But let's have a quick round of contributions. Maybe Senator Chirarge, and then Senator Mugeni, you are the founder of that institution. You need to tell us what went wrong.
Thank you, Chair. The reading of Article 79 of the Constitution establishes EACC as an independent body. So I think while the concerns are valid, we should not use opportunity to throw political convenience statements and snippets that will make us make statements that are just chiding politically. Because as far as I'm aware, EACC is a very independent body. In fact, Article 79 says Parliament shall legislate, unless Parliament now are the ones directing EACC to do their job. But when you look at Chapter 15 of independent commissions, EACC is one of them, and therefore they should act independently. And from my observation, Governor who is before us does not have a problem with the government of the day, including the president. So I don't know why there is a perception that is being fought politically. Secondly, allow me, I was just patiently listening to you. Why are you emotional? I was just
please proceed, Senator.
Yes, hold your horses. So that is what I know, because I know the two gentlemen, they are very close friends. So anybody who want to just twist you, Governor, just ignore them with the contempt it deserves. Finally, I agree that it is high time that we invite the CEO and entire EACC commission to appear. Even Nandi, for example, the EACC came for a raid of payroll fraud. Up to now, after disappearing with computers and other documentation, including the payroll, they have never given us headway. So I agree with members that I think EACC must give us, and I hope, Chair, when they come, you remember when I served as the Chair Jail, like when we invited EACC in them, they brought us conviction of 20,000 bribery. You have convicted Matatu touts and everything. We want them, when they appear, they should tell us the budget we give them as Parliament, these are the convictions, this is the status of the investigations. And I think that will give really a progress from that area. And I don't know, Governor, I don't know whether CEO comes from your county.
Mr. Chairman, the CEO does not come from my county, but just to set the record straight,
yes.
I agree with what you said, that I have no problem with the government of the day, in fact. But still, I will want to confirm that the initial process of taking me to EACC was still political, from other quarters, not from, the national government as such, if I may say. I don't want to go into the detail of that.
Governor, you'll be doing yourself harm by getting into that speculative frame.
I can confirm,
let this committee, and we are saying this, we are not asking you to defend yourself. We are just saying that we need to see action, so that if there is a problem, you be taken to court, or if there is no problem, you be discharged. Right. I think we seem to be on your side. Everything we are not giving
and
you.
rightly so, because I should be declared whether I am guilty or not. But I was just following up with the issue Senator raised.
Chair, I was finding out with the CEO.
Be careful with this.
I am concluding.
Senator Cherargei,
CEO doesn't come from
He comes from Garissa.
comes from
I think it's
Garissa.
okay.
Thank you.
asking that.
Thank you. Well,
what is the nexus, Senator Cherargei? What is the nexus?
There is something I'm trying to establish, but anyway, that's. But thank you, Chairman, Governor, for confirming something. Thank you very much.
Chair, with your permission, I want you to allow me in the next meeting to table evidence of Senator Cherargei saying the exact opposite of what he is telling us today about the independence of this institution in the previous administration. In the previous administration, because
the
we all
discussion
know.
of Cherargei is
Just a
not
minute.
a matter.
Just a minute.
You should put a substantive motion.
Order, Senator Cherargei.
Just a minute, because
Senator
But you
Sifuna,
can't discuss a member.
we're not discussing. I have asked for permission from the chair to show that you are engaging in what we call double speak. You have cried publicly before about the
never
lack of
cried
independence of this
publicly.
institution. You can't come and tell us
No,
here
no,
that they are an
Chairman, I've
independent
never
institution.
cried publicly.
I think
don't know where he
that
gets
time,
it then.
that time it was DCI, it wasn't EACC.
No, and I've never
When he
cried. I
cried
don't
in the
know
back
where
of a
he
Subaru.
getting it.
I've cried openly.
You know when you say chair, you know when you are used to political gossip, you want to bring political gossip to a serious committee, we shall not allow.
Order.
No, you cannot, because you know the standing orders.
Senator Dulo.
Chair, why is it when Sifuna speaks, he thinks he's always the right one? He's not.
The order, Senator. I think let's move on.
Said he will bring evidence. Why can't we just?
But it is not me on question.
Evidence comes.
We don't do
Chair, I rely on anything.
Honorable members, let's move on.
should
I
rule
know,
Senator Sifuna out
I know
of
Senator
order.
Cherargei's advocate is here, and it's Senator Okongo Mogeni, who rescued him from the Subaru. So you don't need any further.
Chair, I think you are being unfair. Senator Okongo Mugeni was on court on other matters, and it was not even on issue of Subaru and crime. I think Sifuna is overstating his imagination too much.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Members,
so let it all.
Senator
We'll deal with him politically.
Senator Cherargei knows that if it was not for my able representation, he could have slept in the cells.
But I've never questioned the role of
Can we go back to the agenda?
let's come back to you.
I think,
Let's hear Senator Dula, then I come back to you, Senior Counsel. Please. Yeah, Senator Dula.
Chair, with all due respect, this is a very serious matter. And we should not bring politics into this issue. Number one, as Cherargei says, EACC is independent institution. If they are being used to settle political scores, they should appear here and explain to us. A very good example is the governor of Marsabit, where he has a criminal or maybe an allegation of corruption hanging on his head that has taken too long. We have even said here, procedurally investigation must have been carried out before the raid or before the arrest. Yeah? No, Patricia, don't shake your head. If you don't agree with me, it's up to you. But you cannot raid my house and then you put me out there as a criminal for a whole year and you're not even coming back to me. It's unacceptable. So what we are saying, carry out your investigation. When I'm guilty, take me to court or raid. You know? Yeah? So anyway, Chair, I think the best thing is to summon EACC, because we are even frustrating OAG. They come here with a lot of record saying that there is this amount of money that is lost. Yeah? And the matter doesn't go anywhere. You can imagine a case in Isiolo where 36 advisors are being recruited and the governor sits here and lies under oath and no action is taken against him, and that is a lot of money that is being lost. Why that office is not raided? So, Chair, I think an explanation has to be made by EACC whether they are procedurally doing their work or not. And Patricia, you cannot sit here and defend EACC where they go wrong. Your bosses must come and explain. And if they want to come for me, let them come for me. I'm ready. Thank you.
Senator Morgan. Senator Morgan.
Yeah, Chair. Thank you, Chair. First, let me clarify. I was not the founder of EACC. I actually took over from Ahmed Nasir, who was the first chair of that body. But the conversation we're having is serious. You know, Chair, we are now in the internet age. Once you raid governor, if he travels to UK and, okay, let's say US and the governor is hosting him, if they put his name, they will just see a corrupt governor. If it was in the 80s, that's something different. Nobody will ever know that the governor of Marsabit was raided by EACC. Two, Senator Sifuna knows the people who crafted our laws put in place serious safeguards. Before you go to somebody's house under Section 118 of the Criminal Procedure Code, you need to get authority from the court. That's how the law is, unless it has been amended. And you need to state in your affidavit the purpose of your raid and what you are going to retrieve from that home or from that office. But if we have cases where we obtain warrants to go to people's homes to look for documents that can be found in the official offices of governors, we are now going to an area of clear abuse of office, Chair. And I think the right people to intervene is us. We are the ones who enacted Section 118. If any of these agencies in the criminal justice sector wants to weaponize the provisions of the law against particular individuals, then we must step in. And here there is nothing wrong. We have the powers under the Constitution to summon the leadership of EACC. We interrogate how they are invoking Section 118 of the Criminal Procedure Code. If there is abuse, we move in and amend the law. I mean, personally, when I was in EACC, I was taken to the Serious Fraud Office in the UK. Before they make a disclosure that you are under investigation, it's actually at the tail end of the investigation, because it has something to do with your reputation. By the time we say we are investigating Kajuang, it should be on, your file is on its way to DPP. We should respect the privacy of citizens. We understand corruption is a serious cancer, but we must have a delicate balance, Chair, between protecting the rights of citizens and also the invasive powers of an anti-corruption agency. If we let this thing loose, it will become weaponized, and it will even be worse than what we saw in the last regime. So let's take this issue up. Let us have a conversation with EACC. From here, we can make a recommendation to the House. If there is abuse, we cannot sit back and just say, let things continue to be the way they are, Chair. So this is a serious matter. Let us have it as a standalone agenda. We look at, personally, I don't think it's excusable to raid somebody on 4th of April, 2024. And this matter is captured in all the ministry media. These are how many months? 14 months down the line. Nobody has been taken to court. It's not right, Chair.
Thank you. We need to bring this subject to a close.
One final point that EACC needs to clarify for me. You know, we have this campaign financing laws that sets a limit on how much, if you are looking for MCA, how much money you can spend, senator, governor. They are ridiculous amounts. But there is this thing that they always sensationalize when they come to your house. How much money are we allowed to keep in our houses? As a senator, what is the maximum that I should have in my house? Because the last time they arrest, I think, Governor Matani, he's a known businessman. I mean, they said, I think it was 12 million. 13 million was too much. As a senator for Nairobi, how much money can I keep in my house? I need to know.
I think let's also be careful, and the message is we just want results. EACC can use their methods, but the method should be in line with the law. The only reason I brought this matter up is that the EACC themselves tied the visit to the governor to his appearance before this committee. And it is only fair for us to ask how far the matter has gone. I think that's where we come in. It would be a bit delicate for us to direct EACC on how to conduct itself. Of course, it must conduct itself in accordance with the law. Results. Let the governor be charged if he's guilty. Let the governor be acquitted if there is no offense. And let it be done within a reasonable time frame. I think, Patricia, that is our message. The rest were contributions. But ultimately what the Senate wants, and we respect your partnership. We respect what you're doing as an institution, and we know that you are our partners. But the public does not understand why we say a lot of things in Nairobi, and then it does not lead to charges. It does not lead to conviction. And it's been a very difficult job for us to explain that our job is recommendation, whereas investigation goes to another entity and prosecution goes to another entity. But we must also address the capture of players in the criminal justice system in this country. Because this conversation implies that EACC could be weaponized in some cases, which is not proper. And we have cases of Trans Nzoia, Marsabit, Kiambu, Turkana, Isiolo, and several other counties. We don't want to direct EACC, which is an independent institution, but we just want to see that matters are concluded. Sometimes we make recommendations to the DCI for issues that border on criminality. But going by recent events, the DCI perhaps has become another criminal organization when they take people in and people end up dead in the middle of the night. If you go to the other institutions, for example, the judiciary has been terrorized to be compliant. If you look at the contradictory orders that are coming from the courts, and then you come to Parliament and the OAG, we have practically been castrated. So there's a big problem in this country. We need to deal with it. We'll be calling the leadership of the EACC for a conversation on how we can partner to work together. But the people of Marsabit deserve to know whether their governor is a thief or not, because that is the impression that has been put out there. I think that would be a fair call for justice.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, allow me to say one word. Your parting shots, the people of Marsabit need to know whether the governor is a thief or not. I also want to know the same. The day I was invaded, I found that to be very crude. Mr. Chairman, I'm a law-abiding citizen. If I was asked to appear and give some documents, I will easily do. So when finally I was taken to Isiolo, over 200 kilometers from Marsabit, I was shocked only to be told you will be called later. That, of course, I made it known that it was very disappointing. It was unfair. It was unprocedural. Save for that, subsequent investigations, the officers have handled my case orderly. We have complied. We have provided all the documentation they require, and we will wait for justice to be done to that matter. So personally, I think I agree with you. We need to conclude such matters because people will see me like, you know, somebody who has misused funds and this kind of thing, and the allegations or some statements that come from other leaders also. We need to be very careful. They can land people into trouble for no reason, just like that matter, as you rightly raised, Mr. Chairman. So thank you very much.